I'm glad to see so many faces out here. It makes me so excited. We need foster parents. We really do. So, and I recognize some of y'all out there now. So, like Victoria said, they have asked me to speak on attachment, specifically the fear that I would get too attached. I can't become a foster parent because I couldn't let them go. And I certainly had that fear too when I started. My family told me, Kimberly, there is no way that you can do this. You love kids too much, your heart's too big, you're gonna get too attached. This will devastate you. And you know, I almost let them convince me that they were correct. But I realized I'm exactly the person who should be a foster parent. I mean, you need people who have a big heart. You need people who love kids. Foster parents need to get attached. They need to love these children so much that they do not want to let them go. That's exactly who should be a foster parent. So I jumped in with both feet, and like she said, we've had 30 children in 3 years. Sometimes I'm got 2 strapped to me and 1 on my hip, but I've loved every second of it. My goal when they come into my home is to just love them as much as I can for as long as I can. That's what I have to do. Sometimes, you know, I have them for a day. I've had one guy for a couple of years. And you, a lot of times, don't even know when they walk into your home if it's going to be for a day or a couple of years. But I love them as much as I possibly can for as long as I can. Now, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you it doesn't hurt. I'm not going to lie to you. I have cried a river over these children. But the reality is, for every tear that I have cried, I've laughed 1,000 times more. I have heard them laugh 1,000 times more. And that's really the beauty of it. I would absolutely, without a doubt, shed all of these tears happily for the joy and the laughter that these children have brought to me and the memories that we've made. I've adopted 3 kids, one of them sitting up there. We've had to split house today because my youngest has a chorus concert tonight. So Carly said, I'll go with you. We adopted 3 kids from an international orphanage, which is why we were led to foster care, was I saw all that they missed and I wanted to do something because my children deserved better than what they got. And that's what I try to do. She's fantastic, my sweet girl. She's videotaping me right now. I want to tell you a real life story of kind of how it works. I want to talk about Big Man. That's what I call him, my Facebook name for Big Man, because I can't really say his name and I'm hoping I won't slip up. So if I say his name, y'all didn't hear it, okay? Big Man, when he came to me, was 2 months old. We were his 4th home. Think about that. 2 months old, y'all, and we were his 4th home. He came to us, and I hate to say it, he was not the most attractive child. He was incredibly gassy. He spit up every time you looked at him. And it was one of those things where I thought, oh goodness, he was our 2nd placement. Our 1st was stunningly beautiful. Everywhere we went, people would ooh and ah over him, and that was kind of fun, you know. 2nd child, you know, I mean, he was a little difficult. He stunk all the time, God bless him. I have to say he ended up being a beautiful child, and with a change in formula, the spit up and the gas went away, thank the good Lord. But as we raised him, he ended up being, I call him the love of my life. My husband hates it when I say that, but that's what I call him. He found everything funny. Now, we're kind of an obnoxious family. We're all big-spirited. We all laugh a lot, and he took that on. He laughed about everything. He always had a smile on his face. When he would walk out of a restaurant, he was fist bumping, and he'd go like this, fist bump, high five everybody. He made friends everywhere he went. Always ready for a dance party, and every time he brought the camera out, the first thing he did was say, cheese! So I don't have a picture of his last 6 months without his fingers on his cheek. He was absolutely the life of the party. Now when he was 16 months old, so we had had him for 14 months, we got a call that he was going to be leaving. I need to go back, I forgot to say this. That night, one night when I woke up with him in the middle of the night, he was crying. And I went in there to give him a bottle, and he let out a big old toot, and a big bird, he threw up on me, and I thought, okay. And I remember praying, Lord, please help me to love this boy the way that he needs to be loved. And I cannot even begin to tell you how hugely God answered that prayer that night. As I said, I call him the love of my life. And we got the call when he was 16 months old that he was going to be leaving and going with his grandmother to another state. Got the call that his flight had been purchased, and we had to put him on an airplane in about 5 days. And I remember thinking, I can't do it. I can't put this child on an airplane. And I knew all along he was going to be going with Grandma, but I wasn't ready, you know? And I found that I could be stronger than I ever thought I could be. But the beauty of it is every picture now that I get, thankfully I get to stay in touch with Grandma. Every picture that I get, he has a huge smile on his face. And every video that I receive, he's laughing his heart out. And I know, not to sound cocky, but I know my family did that. It's because of us. If he would have continued to be tossed around in the system, or if he would have ended up with a family that didn't love him and didn't love the gas and the spitting up and hadn't prayed that prayer that night, what would have happened to that child who was the absolute life of the party? Every picture that I get, he's still doing this. And he's been gone from me a year and a half. Now his grandma says that now instead of saying cheese, he says cheeseburger. So he's fancied it up a little bit. But I'm okay with the fact that even a year and a half later, I'm still crying about him. Because the memories that I have of loving him is so worth it. Now, foster care focuses too much on the loss. Too many people focus on the loss. What you need to focus on is the love. That's what we need to be talking about and thinking about, is the opportunity to love bigger than we ever thought was possible. Our preacher says, God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And I promise you I didn't think I could give him away that day. But God has given me a power to go, and it motivated me to do even more, even better things and bigger things than I even thought I could. And now, since him, we've taken in 28 other kids. Don't let fear hold you back from making a difference. Let love push you forward. Thank you.